Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you guys have had a wonderful Shabbat. And so let's go ahead and start. We're going to do the Torah portion, which is called Mattot-Massei, I guess is what it means. Or Mattot-Massei. And it means tribes and journeys. And it's going to be in Numbers 30, verse 2, and through 36, chapter 36, verse 13. If a man vows a vow to Yahuwah or swears an oath to bind himself by a pledge, he shall not break his word, and he shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. If a woman vows a vow to Yahuwah and binds herself by a pledge while within her father's house in her youth, and her father hears of her vow and of her pledge by which she has bound herself and says nothing to her, then all her vows shall stand, and every pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if her father opposes her on the day that he hears of it, no vow of hers... Go inside, please, or be quiet, okay?
No, we think.
I'm recording a video, so please be quiet.
No, it's not out here.
But if her father opposes her on the day that he hears of it, no vow of hers, no pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand.
Where is it?
We can't find it. Can't find it at all.
It'll be recorded. The awkwardness of being live.
Apparently, it's not out there.
Just bear with me, guys.
Which means it's on the roof. Apparently, I'm gonna surprise.
Continuing on. But if her father opposes her on the day that he hears of it, no vow of hers, no pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand, and Yahuwah will forgive her because her father opposed her. If she marries a husband while under her vows, or any thoughtless utterance of her lips by which she has bound herself, and her husband hears of it and says nothing to her on the day that he hears, then her vows shall stand, and her pledges by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if on the day that her husband comes to hear of it, he opposes her, then he makes void her vow that was on her, and the thoughtless utterance of her lips by which she bound herself, and Yahuwah will forgive her. But any vow of a widow or of a divorced woman, anything by which she has bound herself, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house or bound herself by a pledge with an oath, and her husband heard of it and said nothing to her and did not oppose her, then all her vows shall stand. Every pledge by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband makes them null and void on the day that he hears them, then whatever proceeds out of her lips concerning her vows or concerning her pledge of herself shall not stand. Her husband has made them void, and Yahuwah will forgive her. Any vow and any binding oath to afflict herself her husband may establish, or her husband may make void. But if her husband says nothing to her from day to day, then he establishes all her vows or all her pledges that are upon her. He has established them because he said nothing to her on the day that he heard of them. But if he makes them null and void after he has heard of them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes that Yahuwah commanded Moses about a man and his wife, and about a father and his daughter, while she is in her youth within her father's house. Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, Avenge the people of Israel on the Midianites. Afterward ye shall be gathered to your people. So Moses spoke to the people, saying, Arm men from among you for the war, that they may go against Midian to execute the Yahuwah's vengeance on Midian. You shall send 1,000 from each of the tribes of Israel to the war. So there were provided out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them to the war. 1,000 from each tribe, together with Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, with the vessels of the sanctuary and the trumpets for the alarm in his hand. They warred against Midian as Yahuwah commanded Moses, and killed every male. They killed the kings of Midian with the rest of their slain, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba. Where did I go? I looked up. The 5 kings of Midian. And they also killed Balaam, the son of Beor, with the sword. And the people of Israel took captive the women of Midian and their little ones. And they took as plunder all their cattle, their flocks, and all their goods, all their cities and the places where they lived, and all their encampments they burned with fire, and took all the spoil and all the plunder, both of man and of beast. Then they brought the captives and the plunder and the spoil to Moses, and to Eleazar the priest, and to the congregation of the people of Israel, at the camp on the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the chiefs of the congregation went to meet them outside the camp. And Moses was angry with the officers of the army, the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds who had come from service in the war. Moses said to them, "Have you let all the women live? Behold, these on Balaam's advice caused the people of Israel to act treacherously against Yahuwah in the incident of Peor. And so the plague came among the congregation of Yahuwah. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known man by lying with him. But all the young girls who have not known man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Encamp outside the camp 7 days. Whoever of you has killed any person, and whoever has touched any slain, purify yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day you shall purify every garment, every article of skin, all works of goat's hair, and every article of wood." Then Eleazar the priest said to the men in the army who had gone to battle, "This is the statute of the law that Yahuwah has commanded Moses. Only the gold, the silver, the bronze, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that can stand the fire, you shall pass through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall also be purified with the water for impurity. And whatever cannot stand the fire, you shall pass through the water. You must wash your clothes on the 7th day, and you shall be clean. And afterward you may come into the camp." Yahuwah said to Moses, "Take the count of the plunder that was taken, both of man and of beast, you and Eleazar the priest, and the heads of the fathers' houses of the congregation, and divide the plunder into 2 parts between the warriors who went out to battle and all the congregation, and levy for Yahuwah a tribute from the men of war who went out to battle, 1 out of 500 of the people, and of the oxen, and of the donkeys, and of the flocks. Take it from their half, and give it to Eleazar the priest, as a contribution to Yahuwah. And from the people of Israel's half, you shall take 1 drawn out of every 50 of the people, of the oxen, of the donkeys, and of the flocks, of all the cattle, and give them to the Levites, who keep guard over the tabernacle of Yahuwah." And Moses and Eleazar the priests did as Yahuwah commanded Moses. Now the plunder remaining of the spoil that the army took was 675,000 sheep, 72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 persons in all, women who had not known man by lying with them. And the half, the portion of those who had gone out in the army, numbered 337,500 sheep. And Yahuwah's tribute of sheep was 675. The cattle were 36,000, of which Yahuwah tributed was 72. The donkeys were 30,500, of which Yahuwah's tribute was 61. The persons were 16,000, of which Yahuwah's tribute was 32 persons. And Moses gave the tribute, which was the contribution for Yahuwah, to Eleazar the priest, as Yahuwah commanded Moses. Sorry, guys. It is really, really hot here. It's been like, according to like the news, they're saying that it's like 103, but it feels like 116. So I could not be outside today. It was really, really bad. And if I can't be outside, because I'm always outside, I love being outside, it's too hot. I couldn't stand it at all. At all, I could not stand it. So we just got notice of a storm right now. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Sorry for the tangent. But I'm like wiping my mouth like this because I'm sweating and I'm sorry. Oh, it's horrible. I hate it. Alright. Then the officers who were with the thousands of the army, the commander... Oh, wait, did I read that part? Yeah, okay. Then the officers who were over the thousands of the army, the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds, came near to Moses and said to Moses, "Your servants have counted the men of war who are under our command, and there is not a man missing from us. And we have brought Yahuwah's offering, what each man found, articles of gold, armlets and bracelets, signal rings, earrings, and beads, to make atonement for ourselves before Yahuwah." And Moses and Eleazar the priest received from them the gold, all crafted articles, and all the gold of the contribution that they presented to Yahuwah from the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. The men in the army had each taken plunder for himself. And Moses and Eleazar the priest received the gold from the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it into the tent of meeting, as a memorial for the people of Israel before Yahuwah. Let me just check the volume on here. Make sure. Okay, we're charging still. And we're... Okay. I forgot to check those things. Now the people of Reuben and the people of Gad had a very great number of livestock. And they saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead, and behold, the place was a place for livestock. So the people of Gad and the people of Reuben came and said to Moses and to Eleazar the priest, and to the chiefs of the congregation, Eteroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elealeh, Sebam, Nebu, and Beon, the land that Yahuwah struck down before the congregation of Israel, is a land for livestock, and your servants have livestock. And they said, "If we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants for a possession. Do not take us across the Jordan." But Moses said to the people of Gad and to the people of Reuben, "Shall your brothers go to the war while you sit here? Why will you discourage the heart of the people of Israel from going..." Ooh, guys, that's called a cicada bug. If you can hear that. They're indigenous here. People say that they came from Africa. I don't know. But they're here in Arizona. Excuse me. Okay, so why will you discourage the heart of the people of Israel from going over into the land that Yahuwah has given them? Your fathers did this when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up to the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the people of Israel from going into the land that Yahuwah had given them. And Yahuwah's anger was kindled on that day, and he swore, saying, "Surely none of the men who came up out of Egypt, from 20 years old and upward, shall see the land that I swore to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me. None except Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and the Kenizzite, and Joshua the son of Nun." Remember that. Joshua the son of Nun, because it's going to get interesting as we keep moving on through Numbers and into Deuteronomy. For they have wholly followed Yahuwah. And Yahuwah's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of Yahuwah was gone. And behold, you have risen in your father's place abroad of sinful men, to increase still more the fierce anger of Yahuwah against Israel. For if you turn away from following him, he will again abandon them in the wilderness, and you will destroy all this people. Do you hear that? Yahuwah's fierce anger is going to come against you. Those who want to stay in Yahushua Jesus and claim the God of Baal. You need to wake up, because you're about to be destroyed. And Yahuwah is letting you know in his Torah portion right now. A brother, on his page, he talks about a dream that he had. And I told him the interpretation of his dream and what it meant, because Yahuwah told me something far more deeper that I was researching today, and I'll tell you at the end of the Haftorah portion, because it blew my socks off, and I wear socks all the time. Okay, where were we at? Alright, then they came near to him and said, "We will build sheepfolds here for our livestock and cities for our little ones, but we will take up arms, ready to go before the people of Israel, until we have brought them to their place. And our little ones shall live in the fortified cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our homes until each of the people of Israel has gained his inheritance. For we will not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has come to us on this side of the Jordan to the east." So Moses said to them, "If you will do this, if you will take up arms to go before Yahuwah for the war, and every armed man of you will pass over the Jordan before Yahuwah until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the and the land is subdued before Yahuwah, then after that you shall return and be free of obligation to Yahuwah and to Israel, and this land shall be your possession before Yahuwah. But if you will not do so, behold, you have sinned against Yahuwah, and be sure your sin will find you out. Build cities for your little ones and folds for your sheep, and do what you have promised." And the people of Gad and the people of Reuben said to Moses, "Your servants will do as my Lord commands." Actually, it says, "Our little ones, our wives, our livestock, and all our cattle shall remain there in the cities of Gilead. But your servants will pass over every man who is armed for war before Yahuwah to battle, as my Lord orders." So Moses gave command concerning them to Eleazar, the priest, and to Joshua, the son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' house of the tribes of the people of Israel. And Moses said to them, "If the people of Gad and the people of Reuben, every man who is armed to battle before Yahuwah, will pass with you over the Jordan, and the land shall be subdued before you, then you shall give them to the land of Gilead for a possession. However, if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan." And the people of Gad and the people of Reuben answered, What Yahuwah has said to your servants we will do. We will pass over armed before Yahuwah into the land of Canaan, and the possession of our inheritance shall remain with us beyond the Jordan. And Moses gave to them, to the people of Gad, and to the people of Reuben, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the land and its cities, with their territories, the cities of the land throughout the country. And the people of Gad built Dibon, Ataroth, Aroer, Atroth, Shopan, Jazer, Jogbeha, Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran, fortified cities and folds for sheep. And the people of Reuben built Heshbon, Elealeh, Kiriathaim, Nebo, and Baal Meun. Their names were changed, and Sibmah. And they gave other names to the cities that they built. And the sons of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and captured it, and dispossessed the Amorites who were in it. And Moses gave Gilead to Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he settled in it. And Jair, the son of Manasseh, went and captured their villages and called them Havoth Jair. And Nobah went and captured Kenath and its villages and called it Nobah after his own name. These are the stages of the people of Israel when they went out of the land of Egypt by their companies under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. Moses wrote down their startling place, stage by stage, by command of Yahuwah. And these are their stages according to their starting places. And they set out from Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, on the day after the Passover. The people of Israel went out triumphantly in the sight of all the Egyptians, while the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn, whom Yahuwah had struck down among them on their gods. Also, Yahuwah executed judgments. Okay, yeah. They're gods. See that? Here it is. This is where people want to twist the truth and say, oh, Passover was a lamb that they sacrificed, and that was Yahushua, Jesus. Well, this judgment was against their gods, and their gods at that time were what? Amun Ra? Yeah. And what was Amun Ra's character? What was it? What was he seen as? The lamb god? The goat god? Who? The lamb god. So there's where you get your false doctrine from Christianity, the religion, and Yahuwah says not to be part of a religion. But this is where they twisted that right there. Because the only reason why they slaughtered the lamb was to mock the gods. All of the plagues. If you look at what was called upon the earth, what was it? Flies? What was the mock? I don't know. Maybe Baal, the lord of the flies? What about the frogs? Their frog god, right? Research these things. All of the plagues that came upon the land of Egypt because of Pharaoh were to mock his gods, including the worst one of all, the one he was just supreme with. Okay? It was the lamb god. And that's why the ultimate sacrifice was a lamb, not Yahushua, Jesus. You let man dictate everything when Yahuwah's word and his prophet's words are the only thing that we're supposed to be putting our trust and hope in, as far as truth goes, to validate Yahuwah's words, his own words, the Torah, and the Haftorah from his prophets, Amos 3:7. He will do nothing unless he reveals it to his prophets first. So the people of Israel set out from Ramses and camped at Sukkoth. And they set out from Sukkoth and camped at Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness. And they set out from Etham and turned back to Pi Hahiroth, which is east of Baal Zephon. Baal Zephon. Okay. They camped before Migdal, and they set out from Hahiroth, and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness. And they went a 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham and camped at Marah. And they set out from Marah and camped to Elam. At Elam there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, and they camped there. And they set out from Elam and camped by the Red Sea. And they set out from the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. And they set out from the wilderness of Sin and camped out Dopka. And they set out from Dopka and camped at Alush. And they set out from Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. And they set out from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. And they set out from the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hata'ava, and camped at Hazeroth. And they set out from Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. And they set out from Rithmah and camped at Rimmon Perez. And they set out from Rimmon Perez and camped at Libnah. And they set out from Libnah and camped at Risa. And they set out from Risa and camped at Kehalatha. And they set out from Kehalatha and camped out at Mount Shipher. And they set out from Mount Shipher and camped at Harada. And they set out from Haradah and camped at Makheloth. And they set out from Makheloth and camped at Tehath. And they set out from Tehath and camped at Terah. And they set out from Terah and camped at Mithka. And they set out from Mithka and camped at Heshmonah. And they set out from Heshmonah and camped at Masarath. And they set out from Masarath and camped at Benejakin. And they set out from Benejakin and camped at, here's a hard one, Hor-Haggidgad. Haggidgad. And they set out from Hor-Haggidgad and camped at Jotbatha. And they set out from Jotbatha and camped at Obrana. And they set out from Obrana and camped at Ezion-Geber. And they set out from Ezion-Geber and camped in the wilderness of Zin, that is Kadesh. And they set out from Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor, on the edge of the land of Edom. And Aaron the priest went up Mount Hor at the command of Yahuwah and died there, in the 40th year after the people of Israel had come out of the land of Egypt, on the first day of the 5th month. And Aaron was 123 years when he died on Mount Hor. And the Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the Negeb in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the people of Israel. And they set out from Mount Hor and camped at Zalmonah. And they set out from Zalmonah and camped at Punan. And they went out from Punan and camped at Oboth. And they set out from Oboth and camped at Lai-Abarim, in the territory of Moab. And they set out from Laim and camped at Dibon-Gad. And they set out from Dibon-Gad and camped at Almon-Diblathaim. And they set out from Almon-Diblathaim and camped in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. And they set out from the mountains of Abarim and camped in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. They camped by the Jordan from Beth Jeshimoth as far as Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, saying, Speak to the people of Israel and say to them, When you pass over the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their figured stones, and destroy all their metal images, and demolish all their high places. And you shall take possession of the land and settle in it. Excuse me. We're having a major dust storm right now, so this thing is rolling in, and I'm doing my best to speed this up. Okay. The land from before you, and destroy all their figured stones, and destroy all their metal images, and demolish all their high places. And you shall take possession of the land and settle in it. For I have given the land to you to possess. You shall inherit the land by lot according to your clans. To a large tribe you shall give a large inheritance, and to a small tribe you shall give a small inheritance. Wherever the lot falls for anyone, that shall be his, according to the tribes of your fathers, and shall you inherit. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then those of them whom you let remain shall be as barbs in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and they shall trouble you in the land where you dwell. And I will do to you as I thought to do to them. Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, Command the people of Israel, and say to them, When you enter the land of Canaan, this is the land that shall fall to you for an inheritance, the land of Canaan, as defined by its borders. Your south side shall be from the wilderness of Zin, alongside Edom, and your southern border shall run from the end of the South Sea to the east. And your border shall turn south of the ascent of Akrabim, and cross to Zin, and its limit shall be south of Kadesh Barnea. Then it shall go on to Hazar Adar, and pass along to Azmon. And the border shall turn from Azmon to the brook of Egypt, and its limit shall be at the sea. For the western border you shall have the great sea and its coast. This shall be your western border. This shall be your northern border. From the great sea you shall draw a line to Mount Hor. From Mount Hor you shall draw a line to Lebo Hamath, and the limit of the border shall be a zidad. Be at Zidad. Then the border shall extend to Ziphron, and its limit shall be at Hazar Enan. This shall be your northern border. You shall draw a line for your eastern border from Hazar Enan to Shephem, and the border shall go down from Shephem to Riblah on the east side of Ain, and the border shall go down and reach to the shoulder of the sea of Chinnereth on the east, and the border shall go down to the Jordan, and its limit shall be at the Salt Sea. This shall be your land as defined by its borders all around. I feel like this is like really close to me. There we go. Okay. Moses commanded the people of Israel, saying, This is the land that you shall inherit, by lot, which Yahuwah has commanded to give to the 9 tribes and to the half-tribe, for the tribe of the people of Reuben by fathers' houses, and the tribe of the people of Gad by their fathers' houses, have received their inheritance, and also the half-tribe of Manasseh. The 2 tribes and the half-tribe, they have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan, east of Jericho, toward the sunrise. Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, These are the names of the men who shall divide the land to you for inheritance. Pay attention to this. Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun. Keep remembering Joshua the son of Nun, and how many times Joshua is raised up. Okay. And you shall take 1 chief from every tribe to divide the land for inheritance. These are the names of the men of the tribe of Judah: Caleb the son of Jephunneh, the tribe of the people of Simeon; Shemuel the son of Ammihud, of the tribe of Benjamin; Elidad the son of Chislon, of the tribe of the people of Dan; a chief Buki the son of Gogli; the people of Joseph, of the tribe of the people of Manasseh, chief Haniel the son of Ephod; and of the tribe of the people of Ephraim, a chief Kemuel the son of Shiptan; of the tribe of the people of Zebulun, a chief Elisaphan the son of Parnak; of the tribe of the people of Issachar, a chief Paltiel the son of Azan; and the tribe of the people of Asher, a chief Ahihud the son of Shalomi. Okay. Of the tribe of the people of Naphtali, a tribe... oh, jeez. Okay. And of the tribe of the people of Asher, a chief of Ahihud, the son of Shalomi. Oh, we read that. I just like saying that, Shalomi. Of the tribe of the people of Naphtali, a chief Pedahal, the son of Ammihud. These are the men whom the Yahuwah commanded to divide the inheritance for the people of Israel in the land of Canaan. Yahuwah spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, saying, Command the people of Israel to give to the Levites some of their inheritance of their possession as cities for them to dwell in. And you shall give to the Levites pasture lands around the cities. The cities shall be theirs to dwell in, and their pasture lands shall be for their cattle, and for their livestock, and for all their beasts. The pasture lands of the cities which you shall give to the Levites shall reach from the wall of the city outward 1,000 cubits all around, and you shall measure outside the city. On the east side 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, and on the west side 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits, the city being in the middle. This shall belong to them as pasture land for their cities. The cities that you give to the Levites shall be the 6 cities of refuge, where you shall permit the manslayer to flee, and in addition to them you shall give 42 cities. All the cities that you give to the Levites shall be 48, with their pasture lands. And as for the cities that you shall give from the possession of the people of Israel, from the larger tribes you shall take many, and from the smaller tribes you shall take few, each in proportion to the inheritance that it inherits shall give of its cities to the Levites. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, and say to them, When you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall select cities to be cities of refuge for you. Then the manslayer who kills any person without intent may flee there. The cities shall be for you a refuge from the avenger, that the manslayer may not die until he stands before the congregation for judgment. And the cities that you give shall be your 6 cities of refuge. You shall give these cities beyond the Jordan, and 3 cities in the land of Canaan, to be cities of refuge. These 6 cities shall be for refuge for the people of Israel, and for the stranger, and for the sojourner among them, that anyone who kills any person without intent may flee there. But if he struck him down with an iron object, so that he died, he is a murderer. The murderer shall be put to death. And if he struck him down with a stone tool that could cause death, and he died, he is a murderer. The murderer shall be put to death. Or if he struck him down with a wooden tool that could cause death, and he died, he is a murderer. The murderer shall be put to death. The avenger of blood shall himself put the murderer to death. When he meets him, he shall put him to death. And if he pushed him out of hatred, or hurled something at him, lying in wait, so that he died, or an enmity struck him down with his hand, so that he died, then he who struck the blow shall be put to death. He is a murderer. The avenger of blood shall put the murderer to death when he meets him. But if he pushed him suddenly without enmity, or hurled anything on him without lying in wait, or used a stone that could cause death, and without seeing him, dropped it on him, so that he died, though he was not his enemy and did not seek him harm, then the congregation shall judge between the manslayer and the avenger of the blood, in accordance with these rules. And the congregation shall rescue the manslayer from the hand of the avenger of blood, and the congregation shall restore him to his city of refuge to which he had fled, and he shall live in it until the death of the high priest, who was anointed with the holy oil. But if the manslayer shall at any time go beyond the boundaries of his city of refuge to which he fled, and the avenger of blood finds him outside the boundaries of his city of refuge, and the avenger of blood kills the manslayer, he shall not be guilty of blood, for he must remain in his city of refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the manslayer may return to the land of his possession. And these things shall be for a statute and rule for you throughout your generations in all your dwelling places. If anyone kills a person, the murderer shall be put to death on the evidence of witnesses. But no person shall be put to death on the testimony of one witness. Moreover, you shall accept no ransom for the life of a murderer who is guilty of death, but he shall be put to death. And you shall accept no ransom for him who has fled to his city of refuge, that he may return to dwell in the land before the death of the high priest. You shall not pollute the land in which you live, for blood pollutes the land, and no atonement can be made for the land for the blood that is shed in it, except the blood of the one who shed it. Alright. A lot of people will come back and say, oh yeah, there you go, there is Yahusha, see, the one who shed it. But what is he talking about? He's talking to the people if they murder. Don't take that out of context. Do not take that out of context. Hold on a second, I gotta turn a light on. It's really dark. Okay, now we're good. Okay, it says, you shall not pollute the land in which you live, for blood pollutes the land, and no atonement can be made for the land for the blood that is shed in it, except by the blood of the one who shed it. You shall not defile the land in which you live, in the midst of which I dwell, for I, Yahuwah, dwell in the midst of the people of Israel. Meaning he's the one who sheds it. Him. Because remember, he defeated all of these people that were not of Israel. Okay? So he was the one that made blood be shed. The heads of the fathers' houses of the clan of the people of Gilead, the son of Machir, son of Manasseh, from the clans of the people of Joseph, came near and spoke before Moses and before the chiefs, the heads of the fathers' houses of the people of Israel. They said, Yahuwah commanded my Lord to give the land for inheritance by lot to the people of Israel. And my Lord was commanded by Yahuwah to give the inheritance of Zelophehad, our brother, to his daughters. But if they are married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the people of Israel, then their inheritance will be taken from the inheritance of our fathers and added to the inheritance of the tribe into which they marry. So it will be taken away from the lot of our inheritance. And when the Jubilee of the people of Israel comes, then their inheritance will be added to the inheritance of the tribe in which they marry, and their inheritance will be taken from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers. And Moses commanded the people of Israel, according to the word of Yahuwah, saying, the tribe of the people of Joseph is right. This is what Yahuwah commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad. Let them marry whom they think best, only they shall marry within the clan of the tribe of their father. The inheritance of the people of Israel shall not be transferred from one tribe to another. For every one of the people of Israel shall hold on to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers, and every daughter who possesses an inheritance in any tribe of the people of Israel shall be wife to one of the clan of the tribe of her father, so that every one of the people of Israel may possess the inheritance of his fathers. So no inheritance shall be transferred from one tribe to another, for each of the tribes of the people of Israel shall hold on to its own inheritance. The daughters of Zelophehad did as Yahuwah commanded Moses. For Mahlah, Tirzah, Hagla, Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, were married to sons of their father's brothers. They were married into the clans of the people of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of their father's clan. These are the commandments and the rules that Yahuwah commanded through Moses to the people of Israel in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. Alright, now we're going to do the Haftorah. And the Haftorah is Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 4 through 28. And so I told you guys I would tell you, Yahuwah woke me up this morning and he heavily said, you know what, I want you to go read Jeremiah 20. Pointed me to Jeremiah 20. And I looked at my phone and that's what was playing on my phone. I listened to the word while I sleep. And when I woke up, Jeremiah 20 was what was playing. And Jeremiah 20, I want to say Jeremiah 20 through 30, speaks about how the dark prophets were starting out. And Jeremiah knew about this. And this was before he went and he told Jehoiakim about this. Way before. Because we're literally in the beginning of well, it's not too far back. It's because Jeremiah 36 is when it talks about Jehoiakim. And Jeremiah 20 is when we're talking about the dark prophets who are prophesying of Baal. But what are they prophesying of this Baal? Well, I did some research on this, and Yahuwah led me to this. I went to Google first to try and see if I could narrow my search down. And I couldn't really find too much, about Baal other than the stuff that I already know. And I'm going to take my glasses off because I cannot see with the glare. And I couldn't find much, so I went to YouTube and I was like, I'm just going to put a prophecy of Baal or something like that. I tried 5 different ways and I came up with the religion of Baalism. I was like, Baalism? I did not know that there was a Baalism that existed. And when I started watching this video, the first thing I do is I go and I research a lot of what they're talking about, like keywords that they say. And I look in Google and I, look in the encyclopedias and things like that as the videos are playing, just to confirm their research, because I'm not going to sit here and make a video about something that I'm not going to back up and that I haven't researched myself. So, I did a little bit of research, actually a lot of research, because that's what I did all day. And Baalism was the birth, the death, and the resurrection of the gods. Oh, the god Baal. And he was supreme over all the other gods, too. So, it's just interesting because I'm, getting ready to do the Torah portion. And I started reading it and listening to it, and, I come across this Torah portion. I did not know what this Torah portion was going to be about at all. I didn't know. And Yahuwah as my witness, I did not know. And I read Jeremiah 2, and we're going to read it right now. So take what Yahuwah gave me this morning, what I was listening to in my ears when I got up, and then now, and then I went and found all that stuff on YouTube and Google, and it's all backed up by encyclopedias and by professors and archaeologists and things like that. It's all backed up. There's no way you can deny it. So we're going to read the Haftorah, and the Haftorah is actually Jeremiah chapter 2. I think I said it, well, I'll do it again. Verse 4 through 28. And it says, "Hear the word of Yahuwah, O house of Jacob, and all the clans of the house of Israel. Thus says Yahuwah, what wrong did your fathers find in me, that they went far from me, and went from worthlessness and became worthless? They did not say, where is Yahuwah, who brought us from the land of Egypt, who led us into the wilderness, in a land of deserts and pits, in a land of drought and deep darkness, in a land that none passes through, where no man dwells. And I brought you into a plentiful land to enjoy its fruits and its good things. But when you came in, you defiled my land and made my heritage an abomination. The priest did not say, where is Yahuwah?" You see that? The priest. The priesthood. The priesthood are accountable. "Those who handle the law, who did not know me." Those who handle the law did not know me. "The shepherds transgressed against me. The prophets prophesied by Baal." Okay, let me back up here, okay? So this research that I came across in Baalism, there was a stone that was discovered in 2007, and it was called Gabriel's Stone. And it was found, I'm not sure exactly where. Yeah, they found it in Perea. And on this stone speaks about three shepherds. Three shepherds. Okay, and we're reading right here about three shepherds right here. The prophets, the shepherds transgressed against me. Could this be those three shepherds that are spoken about on this stone, that came and prophesied about a Messiah with the birth, the resurrection, the birth, the death, and the resurrection? Because look at this. It lines up perfectly with the research that I did today. It says right here, the shepherds transgressed against me. Oh my goodness. Hey, Lulu! Lulu! Ay, so much distraction. Okay. Then it says, the prophets prophesied by Baal. How much more confirmation can I get from Yahuwah? I mean, this is so surreal, you guys. You can even ask my friend. I mean, all morning long, I was just researching the prophecies of Baal, what they were, what they entailed. And here we are in the Torah portion. And Yahuwah is confirming exactly what my research was. Right here. And remember, this is a thus says Yahuwah. "And went after things they do not profit. Therefore I still contend with you, declares Yahuwah. And with your children's children I will contend. 4. Cross to the coast of Cyprus and see, or send to Kedar and examine with care. See if there has been such a thing. Has a nation changed its gods, even though they are no gods?" See that? The nations change their gods. To who? To somebody who claims to be Yahuwah's son? Who comes and says that he's supposed to atone you for your sins through his blood? That's not what Yahuwah says. Yahuwah makes it very clear that Human sacrifice is not okay, of any kind. Any kind, because the Romans did this. You need to wake up and seriously research this, because it is screaming. People need to wake up and turn back to Yahuwah, because your destruction is on the verge of coming if you don't. Be appalled, O heavens, at this. Be shocked. Be utterly desolate, declares Yahuwah. For my people have committed 2 evils. 2! They have forsaken me. Why? Because they've turned to another person who says that they are his son, when he don't say nothing about it. The fountain of living waters, right? They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed out cisterns for themselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Is Israel a slave? Is he a homeborn servant? Why then has he become a prey? The lions have roared against him. They have roared loudly. They have made his land a waste. His cities are in ruins without inhabitant. Moreover, the men of Memphis and Tahpanhes have shaved the crown of your head. Have you not brought this upon yourself by forsaking Yahuwah your God when he led you in the way? And now what do you gain by doing? And now what do you gain by going to Egypt to drink the waters of the Nile? Or what do you gain by going to Assyria to drink the waters of the Euphrates? Your evil will chastise you, and your apostasy will reprove you. Know and see that it is evil and bitter for you to forsake Yahuwah your God. The fear of me is not in you. This is a thus says Yahuwah, and he says this to the nations. Wake up! For you forsake Yahuwah your God. The fear of me is not in you, declares Yahuwah, God of hosts. For long ago I broke your yoke and burst your bonds. But you said, I will not serve. Yes, on every high hill and under every green tree, you bowed down like a whore. Here it is. Yet I planted you a choice vine. He planted you as a choice vine, wholly of pure seed. How then have you turned degenerate and become a wild vine? Okay, people want to say, oh, the choice vine, that's Yahusha Jesus. Okay, well, guess what happens to your choice vine? It degenerates and what? Becomes a wild vine. So you want to claim that? You want to claim Yahusha Jesus as your choice vine, who then becomes a wild vine? No, wake up, stupid. This is you. This is Israel. He is speaking about Israel. Remember Solomon, what will be again, nothing new under the sun. Those words hold power. Though you wash yourself with lye and use much soap, the stain of your guilt is still before me, declares Yahuwah God. How can you say, I am not unclean? I have not gone after the Baals. Yes, you see this? And that Gabriel stone, that Gabriel stone, I'm telling you, the Gabriel stone was prophesied of a Messiah. And they said that that Messiah was Simon of what? Perea. Simon of Perea. Read it. Go look it up for yourself. It's called Gabriel's inscription, but it's the Gabriel stone that was found in 2007. This is going to rattle the foundation of Christianity once you read this. The foundation of all religions. Anybody who bases something about a Messiah that has come before Yahuwah says he's supposed to come, they are a false prophet. Because Yahuwah says it's not until the time that he makes the covenant of peace with David. The dry bones that come to life are David being resurrected and his army. Go read the book of Ezekiel. I'm not making it up. But the New Testament is completely fabricated. And they have taken things from other scholars. They have taken things from other writings that were about other gods. and they have twisted them. You really have to research this. Don't take my word for it. Go do your own research. I have not gone after the Baals. See, that's what you're going to say to Yahuwah when it comes the Day of Atonement. You're going to say, I didn't go after other Baals. I went after your son because he did this. But Yahuwah's going to say, when did I ever say that? When did my prophets ever say that? Did you really want to take my words and my prophets' words and you want to twist them? Shame on you. Now I'm going to destroy you. You better wake up. Look at your way in the valley. Know what you have done. A restless young camel running here and there. A wild donkey used to the wilderness. In her heat sniffling the wind. Who can restrain her lust? None who seek her need weary themselves. In her month they will find her. Keep your feet from going unshod and your throat from thirst. But you said it is hopeless, for I have loved foreigners, and after them I will go. As a chief is ashamed when caught, so the house of Israel shall be shamed. They, their kings, their officials, their priests, and their prophets who say to a tree, you are my father. To a stone, you gave me birth. For they have turned their back to me and not their face. But in the time of their trouble they say, arise and save us. But where are your gods that you made for yourself? This is Yahuwah saying this to the nations who want to sit there and turn away from him and serve other gods and say that they worship both. You can't have both. You can't have the good with the evil. You can't have the evil with the good. You have to choose. You choose Yahuwah, who is truth. Or you choose, as he said, the Baals that you have gone to worship. It's a simple choice here. And then he says this, let them arise if they can save you. Who do you put your salvation in? You're putting your salvation in Yahusha Jesus. Because you want to say that his name means Yah is salvation. Okay, it means Yah is salvation. Not Yahusha is salvation. Not Jesus is salvation. Yah is salvation. And he's going to tell you this. Let them arise, if they can save you, in your time of trouble. For as many as your cities are your gods, O Judah. Right? How much more clear do you need to get? That is a thus saith Yahuwah. Get away from the modern day Baal and turn back to Yahuwah before it's too late. You want to keep claiming Yahusha Jesus and in Yahusha Jesus' name? Go ahead. Because when you do that, and I'm not saying when, because I don't know when it is, but I'm just telling you what the message was that I received. When Yahuwah feels that it is his time, the minute you want to speak in that name and declare it over him, is the day you will receive your curses. Because he's sick and tired of being placed on the back burner when some other deity wants to take his place and claim that he is Yahuwah's son. And you venerate him because you're so indoctrinated by what society has made you believe. Go ahead. Jeremiah 3:4. Have you not just now called to me, my father? You are my friend of my youth. That is the end of the Torah portion. But I seriously urge you to not go the way of the Baals. Do your research. Find yourself to be faithful. Don't take my word for it. I just read the Torah portion. This is not my words. These are Yahuwah's words. So you take it as it is, and you turn from your ways, and you serve the one true God only. And you denounce Yahusha Jesus, the God of modern day Baal. I'm going to end here. I hope that you get something from this. because you don't have much time to get anything. Some brother told me that it was 10 weeks, and I read on his post too, that, not his post, it was another person's post, but it was words confirming. Somebody said 10 weeks, the destruction is coming. I don't know. I'm not gonna prophesy that. I'm not gonna claim that, because that's not what Yahuwah gave me. Okay? He's not gonna reveal our future to us. He's already said it. So all these people want to predict things. Go ahead, you can predict them. But Yahuwah is gonna slap you down because you're being false and you're declaring things. And he says, if a man's gonna declare something, he better be prepared to walk it out. So you want to declare those things? Go ahead and declare them over yourself. Declare them over the people that you want to follow you. I'm not gonna sit there and do that. Anyhow, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Have a good night.